Hi and welcome to the People Maps Partner Program. This video we're going to explain the partner program in detail. My name is Martin Gibbons. I'm one of the co-founders of People Maps. So are you looking to run your own business? I take it you're not looking for a job, you're actually wanting your own domain. Do you want to enjoy very healthy profit margins and have autonomy to actually take the important business decisions? And you look for a real business that you can have up and running within a few days. A business that does not need a lot of capital investment. Are you looking for a scalable business with recurring, accumulative income opportunities where you can continually expand your income without actually having to work harder and harder? Well, all of this and more is available as part of the People Maps Partner Program. Let me briefly explain the business model. Now, imagine that an organisation of specialists spent millions of pounds developing a new product range and then handed it to you to go build your own business with it. And imagine further that not only did this organisation develop the product, but it spent years testing it in the market with real customers to make sure that it worked. Well, this is essentially the People Maps Partner Program offer. The model works very much like this. You've got People Maps HQ at the top, which deals with all the routine things, the technology and the core psychology. And then you have the partners. Now, there will only be a relatively small number of partners, even worldwide. As a partner, you can deal directly with customers. You can go and find clients, so you probably already have contacts that can come on board right away and start buying your services. But more interestingly, your role primarily is to build your reseller channel. So resellers, they can come on a commission-only type basis, or if you want to pay them, you can pay them. You can pay them an hourly rate. It's entirely a business decision that's up to you, how you want to run your reseller channel. But effectively, those resellers have the responsibility of contacting prospects and clients and managing sales. And then second to that, you also have the option, and it's not mandatory, to develop a distributor channel. Now, they're subtly different from resellers. Distributors are effectively buying the service reports from you, and then they're packaging them up with their own services and reselling them on. So distributors are slightly different. It's up to you whether you want to also develop a distributor channel. Now, as a People Maps partner, you have control over the following issues. Everything to do with promoting the service is yours and within your domain. Generating sales, managing clients, all of that, anything that moves anybody towards a sale comes under you. Which market niches you want to target, where you want to target, who you want to target, why, how you want to talk to them, what messages you want to give them, all of that is within your realm, with the small proviso that People Maps would want to check some of that purely to make sure that you're not saying anything about the psychology that isn't true. So other than that side of things, and we also want to try and maintain some consistency in the brand and a little consistency in some of the messaging. But again, you have pretty much control over that aspect of communication. Most importantly, you have control over pricing, or more accurately, you have control over discounting. So you can decide if a client, a specific project needs a 90% discount to win that offer, then that is your call. If you don't want to discount to a client, then that is your call. Your responsibility, and completely within your autonomy, is the recruitment of your sales agent, your reseller network. The management of those resellers, in terms of motivation and talking to them and all that side of things, is with you. As is, I say, if you want to go down the distributor route and appoint distributors, then that is also up to you. You get to decide which products to promote and to which customers. You get to decide which control room configuration to give to each customer. And the system is extremely configurable, so you can literally create almost exactly what any customer would want. There's so much things that you can vary and set, and settings that you can alter. Now, the following is provided by PeopleMaps HQ. So this is the stuff that you don't need to waste your time on. So the branding, well, it's largely been done, and we will obviously continue to work with this, but the name PeopleMaps has been long and strongly established. So you hit the ground running with an established brand. The website, PeopleMaps HQ, will manage the website. Of course, you will have input into this, and we would take on board any suggestions that you have, but you don't need to worry about any of the practicalities of that. The product range, again, PeopleMaps, it's up to PeopleMaps HQ to develop the products, expand the product range, with some input, of course, from you. Product development's the same thing. The ongoing psychology of the system that's used within the system. Now, PeopleMaps is essentially psychology and technology brought together. So issues relating to psychology support, of course, we provide. Technology platform and all its technical support is provided and managed by PeopleMaps HQ. The technical support for you and for resellers and for clients is provided by PeopleMaps HQ. And of course, the online video training for sales agents, clients and distributors, PeopleMaps HQ will provide a whole bunch of online video training covering all the absolute basics. Now, of course, you're welcome to add your own training, especially where sales agents or resellers are concerned. But the core issues as regards how this works, how to do that, where is this found, how do you do this, all that sort of stuff is better provided in a standard video training program, which is provided again by PeopleMaps HQ. Now, the PeopleMaps control room, it also handles things like order and payment processing. All of that is managed by the technology. The invoicing is managed by the technology, receipts, back receipts, all that sort of stuff. Commission payments, this is all handled by PeopleMaps HQ, so you don't need to sit and figure out who you pay what and sit down and waste a day of your life doing that. The system manages all that, and PeopleMaps will pay it directly to your resellers. Now, even things like leads, primarily your job is, of course, your sales network's job is to generate leads and convert them to customers. However, PeopleMaps does have generate leads by default, just because we rank on search engines and people come and find us. So some of those leads we are happy to pass to partners that are actually performing. And this is also true of the many thousands of existing PeopleMaps accounts. As soon as we see a partner that is performing, then we want to put those leads and those accounts into that partner's hands, because you will probably generate more money out of those contacts. So in short, almost everything is managed through the PeopleMaps control room, leaving you 100% of your time to focus on building your reseller network and on building those customers and those customer relationships. The partner control room, here's just the top navigation. It'll be slightly different when you see it, but this is more or less the kind of thing you're looking at. So what you can see here is you can see sales agents. So everything you need to know about your sales agent will be there. You can see clients that you're dealing with direct. You'll also be able to see the clients that each sales agent is dealing with. You will be able to access all of that detail. The quotes and quote requests that come from the sales agents and quote recommendations that resellers have. I use the word reseller and sales agent interchangeably, but so that comes to you and you get to review those, and ultimately you're the one that creates the quote that goes into the client's control room. You can look at orders and which orders and summaries of orders, and of course you can see all the commissions that are due, not just to you but to your reseller network. So even time-consuming things like invoicing and payment collection, these are all managed via the PeopleMaps control room, so you just don't need to bother with any of that stuff. You don't need to hire someone to manage all of that. If you want to use a client management system, which I do recommend, something like HubSpot, where you can actually manage not just client contacts, but even resellers. So it is possible, even with a free HubSpot account, to set up all of your resellers with a HubSpot account that you are linked to, so that you can actually move clients to their HubSpot account or remove them from their HubSpot account. So you can manage all of that. Then you can do so, and also it's possible to export data from the PeopleMaps system. So if a client registers on PeopleMaps, you can export that data and import it into HubSpot and allow you to manage not only your own clients, but as I say, your resellers and their clients from a central position using some very powerful technology like HubSpot. Let's look at the product range. And it can really be summarised down into sort of three general categories: personality report, credit packs, workshops, and advanced services. Let me quickly show you these. So the main report credits that we sell is the Interview Pro range. So a customer buys a pack of credits which they can use on any of these reports, and this whole range is designed to interview job candidates and tell you about a job candidate. So if you're thinking of hiring someone, this is the report that the client uses. And there's a whole range, as you can see here, but this credit price is the same. They buy a pack of credits and they can use it on any of these. Another range of reports that we have is the Coaching Pro range. These are much more on this personal development. So personal coaches, one-to-one type coaches, executive coaches might be drawn to some of the reports in this range. And then we have workshops. And we do have reports, for instance, for team building called the Working Together Handbook. But we feel rather than sell those reports where people don't fully understand or get the best out of them, rather than do that in isolation, actually we'd rather go for a bigger ticket item and sell a workshop. So you the reseller or the partner, or the reseller or anybody that you appoint, that's the other thing, because again that's your decision, can actually be trained to deliver these workshops. And of course each person attending the workshop would get a personality report for that workshop. So in this collaboration psychology workshop, they would probably get a copy of the Working Together Handbook as part of that workshop. But you're probably looking at a bigger ticket item by selling the workshop to people. And also the client gets more from that. Similarly with the customer acquisition psychology workshop, there will probably be reports that go along with that, so that every person on the workshop requires their own personality report that is specific to that workshop. And then we have advanced services. There will be more workshops added. These are just two examples. And the advanced services, again, these are using PeopleMaps technology, using PeopleMaps personality content, but instead of just handing it to a client, it's used to deliver an advanced service. So the reseller or the partner is trained in each of these products so that they can actually deliver this advanced service. So we've got, let's say, the psychology of staff engagement, the psychology of training needs analysis, and the success profile builder. So again, these are larger ticket items and they're dealt with on a quote by quote basis. So what's the market and the opportunity? Well, 1.5 million people have completed the PeopleMaps assessment since launching back in 2000, and thousands of organisations already have a PeopleMaps account. And this is worldwide, it's not just in the UK. We do have clients in 4 continents. Profiling as an industry is a hard one to get a figure on, but it's roughly around 100 million per year or thereabouts. Recruitment as an industry in the UK alone is worth 26.5 billion. And the training and consultancy market, again in the UK, is worth 9 billion. There are other factors, however, that are also expanding the profiling market and this business service market that we find ourselves in. Now, a fantastic report to look at is the Human Capital Trends Survey, which lists these 4 as the top issues that HR people that were surveyed, thousands and thousands of them were surveyed, this is the issues that they came up with. So organisation of the future, now where that's relevant to us is that organisations are changing, and therefore that's generating a need for some of the services that we provide. Talent acquisition is pretty obvious. We do a lot as regards talent acquisition and staff retention. Careers and learning, well again, we can provide online video training as some of the products that we can actually provide. So there's probably more and more opportunities there. And of course, employee experience, well that comes back to the staff engagement product that we have, amongst others. Now, as we move into the service economy, we expect the highest level of service from everybody that we come across. So where previously some roles didn't really need to be that good with people or their customer service, increasingly today that is no longer acceptable. People matter, people's skills matter in all roles today. So we really need to understand and be good at that human psychology. Another area where we see huge growth is collaboration. There's a lot more collaboration, but not just between departments within an organisation, but between outside organisations, even between organisations that would not that long ago be considered competitors. So this is also where you have people having to work together, there's an opportunity. Modern businesses and management models are much less about this top-down, the old-fashioned top-down and telling, where a good employee was someone who just did what they were told. It's much more now about individual initiative. So again, the people matter now more than they have ever done. We said earlier that recruitment in the UK alone is worth 26.5 billion. Now, what we should also know is that employers are demanding a better service, and agencies don't always deliver everything that they could be, including some of the stuff that we offer is simply not offered by agencies. Employers insist on hiring the right candidates more and more. They don't like to get it wrong, and they really feel aggrieved when they do. And of course, employers are becoming much more sophisticated and informed. Another growth area is in things like interim management recruitment and temporary project-based recruitment, where you bring in a whole bunch of people together for a project and then they will part again. The old days of just hiring someone forever and ever, those are decreasing, and everybody will be increasingly hired, more and more people will be hired on project as required type basis. Management training and support. Some huge surveys carried out with people like Gallup recently, where over 50% of people who quit their job early cited their manager as being the reason that they quit. So from this, it's clear that managers are contributing significantly to staff attrition, staff turnover issues and problems, and all the expense and hassle that comes from that. And therefore managers need more help managing their staff, making sure they're not driving them out the door and actually are attracting them and keeping them in the job because they want to be there. Okay, so what can you earn as a partner? Well, first of all, I need to do a small disclaimer, mainly to comply with North American legislation, but what I'm going to show you and explain this in the next slide really is for illustration only, and it is of course no guarantee of future income. So I just want to make that clear, but let me explain some numbers just to give you an idea. So let's say you're a partner and you have 20 resellers appointed, and each reseller is generating say 60k per year. If you manage that, you will be turning over 1.2 million per year. Now, of course, can you find 20 resellers? Can you get them generating 60k per year? That's another question. But these numbers at least give you an idea of the kind of breakdown you're looking at. Here's another way of looking at it. If one reseller sold one new license per month, and let's just say it's a relatively small license at £500 per month. I have certainly sold licenses for more than £500 per month, and I've sold them for less than that. But That's not an unreasonable number in the business that I've experienced over the years. And let's say that you had 20 resellers in your network. Then on month 12, your partner network will generate 120k in passive income. So again, I give you these numbers to show you that is it possible for a reseller to get one license per month? Well, probably with your help and direction, and if they were properly focused and knew who they were talking to and why they were talking to them. Yes, I don't think that's unreasonable. And of course, therefore, if you had 20 resellers able to do that, then that's what. Now, a typical, what would be £500 a month? That's the kind of money that a contact centre would spend with us. And I have contact centres who spend that with us. In the UK alone, there's over 1 million people employed in contact centres, and there are around 7,500 contact centres in the UK alone. Now, licensed customers, they're ideal because once they are initially configured and set up, well, you know what, they're largely self-service. Thus, you can increase your income without actually increasing effort. So you do a lot of effort maybe in month 1 or the first couple of weeks, but after that, they just get on using the system, paying their money, consuming the credits, and you get on with your rest of your business. Of course, you keep in touch with them to make sure they're happy, but barring disasters, it usually goes pretty smoothly. So that is where you can really enjoy this passive income, because once you get to month 2 and 3 with that client, it's largely a passive income. So what do we solve at PeopleMaps? Well, we solve talent acquisition, talent retention, staff performance, staff engagement, team development, leadership, management effectiveness, sales and personal development. These are all issues where personality sits right at the heart of them, and that we have something unique to say from a personality-centric perspective that maybe isn't being said by everyone else. Sales and marketing. Okay, let's have a quick look at this. So wherever you find employees or people working on a project, well, you're going to find a need for PeopleMaps. Now, as a partner, you've got complete control over which markets you target and how you want to target them. The typical ones that we would certainly jump to mind would be contact centres. There's thousands of them and they all have issues. Any large regular employer is a good bet because they are recruiting every month. In fact, roughly speaking, if anybody hires more or has more than 100 employees, you usually find they're hiring someone each month, just by a normal staff turnover. Graduate recruitment, again, is a great place to go because pretty much every graduate CV looks the same as every other graduate CV. So how do you tell the ones that you really will work for you against the ones that don't? Well, it generally boils down to personality. That's the difference. Of course, organisations with sales teams and where service, is a really big part of the job. Well, these are clearly personality issues. We want to get the right people who naturally are very good at that. And part of what PeopleMaps is all about is helping find naturals. And of course, we've looked at management. Management's a tough job. They need a lot more help and support. PeopleMaps can certainly do that. So although direct sales is a good place to start if you're a partner, your primary role is actually to develop your reseller channel and or, as I say, your distributor network. Now, partners and resellers are responsible for generating their own leads. Clearly that's your primary role and building those relationships. However, PeopleMaps HQ does receive inquiries almost every day, and we have thousands of existing contacts, and we will be distributing those leads and existing accounts to partners and resellers that perform, and that's really the key. As soon as we see that you're able to do a good job and that you've got this and that you're making sales, then we will happily be looking to pass these leads and these accounts over to the partner. So about pricing. Now, the retail price, the price per credit is actually set by PeopleMaps in the control room, so that's the sort of starting point. However, you have complete control over discounting. So we set the unit credit retail price reasonably high, although I think it's still pretty reasonable. To be honest, I'm sure we could probably raise it significantly. But once you get past a few credits, you start to look at discounting anyway. So that is completely within the partner's control. How much you want to discount on any given project is entirely up to you. The only thing we would ask is that you don't publicise your discounted rates. Rather, we would prefer you try and keep that on a quote-by-quote, quote confidential type scenario as much as possible. But there's no hard and fast rules in that. We would ask you to talk to us if you were unsure. Now, resellers, they have to submit a quote request / suggestion to you, the partner, but it's up to you, the partner, to actually decide on the discount and create the quote. But if a reseller's been talking to a client and they say, look, this is what I think we can get for this, it's up to you to make that call. How does the money flow? Well, when a client pays online via their PeopleMaps control room, because everything is provided and managed by the control rooms, they're given immediate access to their report credits. So the client pays online, you don't need to do anything. It's delivered automatically, whatever it is they buy. Unless, of course, they're buying one of the workshops or the advanced service where, of course, somebody's going to have to turn up and deliver it. Clients may also choose to pay offline, so we're not restricted to online payments, in which case they can actually produce within their control room a pro forma invoice that they can take to their accounts department to raise a check or payment request. So we've built that again into the control room, and as soon as payment is actually received at PeopleMaps HQ Bank, then the credits are manually released. So we receive the payment and somebody at PeopleMaps HQ has to go into the system and release those credits to say payment's been received, we can now release the credits. Now, PeopleMaps also provides a control room to partners and to resellers, which includes all the functionality required in a real-time report on things like sales and commissions. So at any point in time, you, the partner, can see exactly what your salespeople have been up to in terms of have they opened any trial accounts, has anybody placed any orders. You can see all of that. Now, commission payments to partners and to resellers are actually made from PeopleMaps HQ. So again, you don't need to worry about taking a day out of your life to go and pay and sort out commission payments to your various resellers. PeopleMaps HQ and the system will deal with all of that admin burden for you. So what do people earn? Well, resellers will earn 35% commission on all products that they sell, and this includes the repeat orders and licenses. So even if they get a license, and as I say, the reseller won't have to do much beyond month 2, they still get paid every month for that client. Partners earn a 15% commission override on all sales generated by their resellers. And of course, when a partner sells direct to a client, then you get the full 50% commission as no reseller is involved. Now, there are some costs which PeopleMaps will absorb, so we have to pay PayPal, so there's a lot of transaction costs and other things, but we take the hit on that side of things rather than the partner or the reseller. Okay, what about training? PeopleMaps, again, HQ will actually provide the partners and the resellers with all the training that's required online via video. We have developed our own training platform, and everything that is necessary to get up and running is covered in that course. And we do believe that a reseller should be able to follow this training and make their first call within the first couple of days. They will know enough. And the key here is that they don't need to know everything about the psychology. PeopleMaps was developed to be self-service. So all of the PeopleMaps clients have used their own system without any training. And so therefore, resellers, although I'm sure they want to know more and they can learn as much as they like, they don't need to know that much. They certainly don't need to understand all the psychology, because what they're essentially selling is a service product. The reports are written in plain English so that anyone who can read it can use it and understand it. So although we will provide a lot of training, very little training is actually required to actually sell the product. What about demo stock? Well, again, each partner and reseller in their network is provided with report credits for demo purposes. In fact, all the credits that's required for demo purposes will be provided. Technical support, pretty much all the routine scenarios can be configured by the reseller and or the partner. So most of the setup, most of the adjustments that need to get made in a client's account, you have control over. However, of course, anything where something's wrong or broken or misunderstood, all that technical support issues, well, that's provided by PeopleMaps HQ. So if someone has something, although we put the partner and their reseller as the primary contact within the system, purely because we want you to build that relationship, the client will always be able to raise technical issues with PeopleMaps HQ. And we will use our own judgment as to whether that is an issue that we're better to handle, or whether it's something we would pass to the reseller or partner to talk to the client about. Technical developments. PeopleMaps HQ is constantly developing the platform. It's a cloud-based platform, so all changes are global. And as a partner, you'll have influence over the technical developments required. Product development, the same can be said for this. The product development is solely the responsibility of PeopleMaps HQ. However, again, as a partner, you'll have your say in the product development strategy. So this is where PeopleMaps, again, is quite different from other offers in that you're not just having to deal with what you've got, you actually get to influence strategy at a very, very senior level. Communications, as I say, the client's control room has the reseller, the partner doing as the primary contact, and we encourage that is where the relationship gets built, as I said earlier on there. Management, well, again, as a partner, you have direct access to the PeopleMaps HQ senior management team, and you are invited, warmly invited, to actually influence the company's strategy and policy. Okay, so what does it cost to get involved? Well, each reseller pays PeopleMaps HQ a small annual fee, or that can be broken down into monthly payments, and it really is pretty small for resellers. And we only ask that for this small payment to cover, or at least to go towards covering some of the training and the support and the demo stock that we provide. I mean, to be honest, it only scratches the surface of that. It's also to show a little bit of serious money. There's commitment money. We don't want hundreds of resellers and nobody's actually doing anything. We want people, if they spend a wee bit of money, then they're more likely to just actually do what they need to do. And the same goes for partners. Partners pay obviously a bit more than the reseller, but it's still pretty small compared to any other kind of business or business franchise type situation. And again, it just covers the support, the training, the time on the phone, all that sort of stuff, and the demo stock. Shares. Now, finally, we're just coming to wrap up here, and just to talk about shares. Partners will actually have the opportunity to acquire a significant number of shares in PeopleMaps as part of a sales bonus. Now, we haven't quite finalised all the details, but essentially, if you're hitting significant sales targets, then there's likely to be shares included as part of that. Now, of course, shares are limited in terms of how many of them are available, but we've ring-fenced quite a large percentage of shares for this arrangement. So the details will follow, but if you want to own a slice of PeopleMaps as well as enjoy a fantastic income that you develop over the next months and years, then that is also a possibility. Okay, so that's us. If you're interested, you'd like to see, you can ask questions. We're more than happy to answer questions, and we would like you to consider joining the PeopleMaps Partner Programme today. I'm Martin Gibbons. Thanks very much for listening.